There are many favorite films, but this one marked me the most, and I keep watching it. I've seen it over 40 times. And it's a film by Michael Mann called The Insider, starring Al Pacino and Russell Crowe. I love that movie so much because it is so well written, because it's a character study about a man versus the system. At the beginning, it's Russell Crowe versus the tobacco system, and then halfway through the film, it's about Al Pacino versus the network television system, and they both become the outsider. There is such a parallel in this film. It is such a fantastically constructed movie, with the music, with the cinematography, with the acting. I keep seeing it, and it's a 2-hour, 45-minute film. It's not a short film. It is an absolute brilliant, because the scenes in it are explosive. It's about telling the truth. It's about dignity. I love those things. They ring truth to me. One of my biggest inspirations. I keep seeing it, and I'm gonna keep seeing it.
So you didn't mention my name? You haven't talked to anybody about me?
Why Brown and
Williamson? No, I spoke.
How the hell do I know about Brown?
It happened just after I talked to you.
I don't know.
I do not like coincidence.
Well, I don't like paranoid accusations. I'm a journalist. Think. Use your head. How do I operate as a journalist? By screwing the people who could provide me with information before they provided me with it.
You came all the way down here to tell me that?
No, I did not. Big tobacco is a big story, and you got something important to say, I can tell.
For me, it was, it was just an eye-opener when I saw that film. I was so engaged in it because I loved the premise of the film, what they're talking about, telling about the truth, telling about principle. Russell Crowe and Al Pacino in that film play two characters who are sticking up for their principle. They will not be allowed to be intimidated. And they're very fragilized. They're very attacked by their own system. They try to be pushed aside, threatened by their own system, and yet they make it. And they make it at the end by leaving the system. It's a great story. I can't tell you how wonderful the film to me. I keep seeing it and I keep learning. I've seen it, like I said, more than 40 times.
Answer the question, doctor.
Yes, it produces a physiological response, which meets the definition of a drug. Nicotine is associated with impact, satisfaction. It has a pharmacological effect that crosses the blood-brain barrier intact.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
There is one scene in The Insider where Al Pacino is confronting his boss at the end of the film, toward the end of the film. And he comes to him, Mike Wallace comes to him and he says, what are you doing? Why are you turning your back on? And Al Pacino responds with a very great phrase. He says, you hire me to go out there and get the story. I go out there to get the story right, to tell the truth. Why are you stopping the movie? Did you stop my episode because I didn't tell the truth? No, you stopped it because I tell the truth. It is just such a fantastic confrontation between those two actors toward the end of the movie. And then the scene after that, they go to the boss. And the dialogue and the energy in it is so fantastic.
You pay me to go get guys like Wygan, to draw him out, to get him to trust us, to get him to go on television. I do. I deliver him. He sits, he talks. He violates his own fucking confidentiality agreement. And he's only the key witness in the biggest public health reform issue, maybe the biggest, most expensive corporate malfeasance case in U.S. history. And Jeffrey Wygan, who's out on a limb, does he go on television and tell the truth? Yes. Is it newsworthy? Yes. Are we gonna air it? Of course not. Why? Because he's not telling the truth? No, because he is telling the truth. That's why we're not gonna air it. And the more truth he tells, the worse it gets.
You are a fanatic, an anarchist, you know that? If we can't have a whole show, then I want half a show rather than no show.